Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. This is another week this is my second episode of a weekly update, and this is a jam-packed week of astrology we have ahead. So we're going to go through the different moon phases, Mercury retrograde, and the other conjunctions and configurations and aspects we have throughout the week. It explains all this crazy energy that's going on at the minute with the rioting, the violence, issues to do with immigration. There's so much going on, and the astrology basically can explain or show the energies involved, what's actually going on, and the amount of craziness that is going on all over the world during these current times. So I'm going to share the screen here and take you through basically everything that's going on for this week. And you will not be disappointed, especially if you have stuff going on in your life at the minute. So this could be, you could be on the verge of a major breakthrough, a changing point, okay? So this gets stuck into what's actually occurring throughout the week. So on the 12th of August, we enter the quarter moon phase. So last week we had the new moon in Leo. Now we're breaking through to the quarter moon phase, which takes us through to the next stage. And we're going to break that down and go through. Then we'll also have the moon entering Sagittarius. We're going to have the Mars and Jupiter conjunction, which is huge for confidence, exuberance, and busting through to that next stage. It's having the energy and the vitality to go forward, burst into life, and express the energy that you want the world to see. So we're going to go through that as well. Then we're also going to have the moon in Capricorn this week. We also have the Mercury retrograde, goes back into the sign of Leo. Then we're also going to have the moon in Aquarius, and then we're going to finish the week with a very strong aspect, Mercury square Uranus. So I'm going to break all these down, take you through the aspects, what the general themes of energy you can expect for these transits coming up, and also keep in mind as well as we go through these, if you have any personal planets or ascendant or mid-heaven connected to any of these energies, and I'll go through the different degrees involved as well. So, and if you know your own chart, at least you'll know then if there is something going on in your life that this could provide some kind of explanation as to what's going on, and perhaps some guidance to get you through. So at the first quarter moon phase, the new moon occurred in Leo, and we now have the sun coming up here to 20 degrees of Leo. Now, if I can get my pointer here, I can point it to you. So the sun will be up here, 20 degrees of Leo. Now, this is on the 12th at 19 minutes past 4. And the moon will be at the square angle of that at 20 degrees of Scorpio, and it's actually approaching an opposition aspect to the planet Uranus as well, and the sun is making an aspecting, an applying square to the Uranian energy as well, which is all part of this huge energy that's building up. And this week and the following week, huge significant astrology. So as this energy builds, we're going through the next quarter moon phase is where action must take place. So you're met with something that you must act upon. It's moving forward. So with Leo energy, it's about expressing your creativity. So whether you do that through your artwork or maybe you do it through some fun recreation. And Scorpio, where the moon is, this is asking you to dig deep. Okay, so you're looking into your deep psyche to find the energy that was going to take you to the next stage. And Uranus, this Uranus energy builds here with the opposition to the moon, you could be on the verge of some kind of breakthrough. Okay, so that's the first quarter phase, and we're going to be beginning the week with that on the 12th of August. Then when the moon moves on into Sagittarius, we will be faced with a different kind of energy. This is still about moving forward. So it's fire energy, and it's mutable as well, which suggests the energy isn't just fixed on one idea. There could be more than one idea going on. There could be a few different things. So the essence of this moon in Sagittarius energy is about adventure, excitement, perhaps experience, going out, taking part in something maybe you haven't done before for a new experience. But it can also be about meaning and purpose, seeking meaning and purpose in your life, or doing something that supports your meaning and your purpose in your personal life experience. So it can also be about being larger in life, doing something, perhaps more extravagant than you wouldn't normally do. But it's also about expanding, and you can do that through education and also, spiritual knowledge or taking part in some kind of religious ceremony. It's all part of growth, not just in physical education, but also spiritual as well. So then, as the week progresses, on the 15th of August, the moon will move into Capricorn, which is a strong, forward-moving earth sign. So this is all about responsibility and rules, discipline. It's how you plan your future. What kind of strategy are you going to put in place to make sure you achieve those long-term goals that can maybe occur in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or what about 30 years on down the line? So this is a solid planning kind of energy, which gives you the vision of what your social status is going to be and how you're working towards that. So it's very ambitious energy. So, and it's where you can see yourself achieving in the future and how you measure your own success. So moon in Capricorn, that'll be for a couple of days. And then we're going to finish the week off with the moon in Aquarius. It's a fixed air sign. So this is all about, community involvement, giving back, associating with friends, groups, any particular groups that you're involved in and take part in. And it's also about the bigger ideals in life. And so it can be collective vision, humanitarian ideals moving forward. It's like, how can we improve the system? What is wrong? What is failing? And I think we can see at the minute, there's so many feelings in all of our lives. We're surrounded by feelings on so many levels. So when the moon enters Aquarius, we'll be thinking of what these ideas we can introduce, to improve life. Okay, so it's about invention, reinventing. How can we upgrade, or can we revolutionize all these issues? Can we do something different to make life better, to improve it? So on the 14th, we have a huge transit. This is Mars conjunct Jupiter, and this is at 16 degrees of Gemini. So if you have any planets at all in Gemini, you're going to be blessed this year anyhow, because Jupiter is in your sign. But with the Mars energy here now, you're going to be pushing forward these great ideas that you have. And maybe you've been a bit lucky or ambitious, or maybe life's just going really easy, going well for you at the minute. With this Mars energy, you're going to want to apply some pressure. You're going to want to burst things through. So whenever things are good, when this Mars energy comes along, you're going to be driven to kind of want to make it better. So this is a real exuberant energy. It can produce an overconfidence, like I can do anything kind of thing. So just be wary of that you don't overdo things, but be wary of your own personal limits. But also don't be scared or don't have fear about pushing your own limits slightly so that you can improve, move forward, gain momentum. Because it's all about meaning and purpose as well. Mars is the drive that helps you achieve that. So you do still need to drive forward, but with Mars energy, sometimes you don't think, you just go and do it. It's like head first. It's like, act first and then think later, which can sometimes lead to doing a lot of things that you may regret. So just keep that in mind as you move forward and try and break yourself through to the next kind of level. So the moon is actually, if you can see the moon energy here, this is for the Mars, and the Jupiter energy is in Gemini, and the moon is exactly opposite that. So your emotional feelings are involved in this. And it could possibly have to do with relationships as well. This could be about taking a relationship to the next level. It's like, what do you need in your relationship? Or what does the other person need from you? How can we evolve this? How can we bring it through to a higher level with more meaning, deeper meaning and purpose going forward? Does it support a higher ideal? So it's worth thinking about that as well. And we also have this applying square to Saturn here as well. Saturn is retrograde in Pisces. So Saturn tends to slow things down. It can restrict in some kind of ways. But what we're thinking of here as this tension builds, as this energy builds, like towards the square to Saturn, it's like, yeah, we really want to go forward. We want to break through to the next stage. But Saturn is saying, hang on a minute. Have you done the work? Have you set the rules? Do you understand your limitations? Are you being responsible enough to follow all this through? That kind of energy. So there's a bit of there's the drive to go forward and achieve, but there's also the level of responsibility attached to this as well, which can bring in elements of doubt. So to eliminate the doubt and the fear, what do? You make sure you have done all of the groundwork and put the foundations in place to try and eliminate as much risk as possible. But that doesn't say risk isn't going to, failure is not possible. Failure is always possible. But the more work you do in the background to secure what you have built, then the more chance of success you have going forward. So there will be a certain amount of tension building and the need to break out from some kind of chains, perhaps, the need to escape. So just be aware that that energy does exist and is around, but the energy is still positive in terms of breaking through and going forward to the next level. So it's just about making sure all the right things are in place as you go forward with momentum. The applying square as well here from Venus up at the top. Venus, peace, love, harmony, all those beautiful, nice things. It's also relationship energy as well. But in Virgo, it's highlighting the work that needs to be done. And as all this tension builds, like we currently have all these riots and violence going on throughout the UK for different reasons, mostly immigration issues, mostly from misinformation. But we have to ask questions here as well, because when Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, Pisces is a sign of compassion, it's empathy. Saturn is retrograde, Saturn is rules, Saturn is discipline. So we can ask a question here, have we been too compassionate? Have we been too empathetic? Are we giving these asylum seekers too much, perhaps? This could be, I'm not saying we have, I'm just putting this out there as a possibility that this energy is building up, and that's why people are rioting and the violence is occurring, because people have had enough. People possibly do think that the government is giving these people too much. But I'm going to have to look at the hard facts and the rules regarding asylum and refugees, because I have been doing some digging and they're not getting as much as people think they're getting. They have to go through a rigorous system to get into the housing system as well. So it's not just like they're getting everything for free. there are limits on what these people are getting. And don't forget as well, that a lot of these people are coming from troubled countries, troubled areas, and they have been uprooted from their homes. So their lives have been taken from them, basically, and they're trying to find a new life. So there certainly is a need for compassion and empathy, but there also needs to be a limit on how much compassion or empathy is provided towards these people. Like, help is always good, but perhaps this is a question that needs to be asked. Is there too much compassion? Is there too much empathy? And it's obviously causing upset through the population, through certain classes in society. But again, there's so much misinformation out there, partly to do with Neptune in Pisces as well, affecting the opposite sign of Virgo. And, with Gemini as well, Mercury ruling the sign of Gemini as well, retrograde, the amount of misinformation that's out there is crazy. So it's possible we need to re-educate and continue putting out better information to keep people informed of what's actually going on and why it's going on, to stop the violence. So that's the Mars-Jupiter energy. So it's drive, enthusiasm, it's exuberance, it's excitement, adventure, looking for those experiences. It's being physical. Go out and do some physical stuff. Get your blood pumping and sweat. Be physical and get involved in your own personal projects. Continue them and drive forward with them. So we got a bit sidetracked there, but Mars, Jupiter, it's all go, okay? So we are going to have Mercury retrograde back into the sign of Leo on the 15th of August, and this is in the early hours. And we'll keep in mind as well that the retrograde began with a conjunction with Moon and Venus. So Venus is relationship energy. Moon is very deep and personal energy, very emotional. So we keep that energy as Mercury retrograde back. Keep that in mind, relationships and peace, harmony, and how we feel about all this as well. Now, I've included all the other dates here for the retrograde as well, but we revisit this Leo energy up until the 9th of September. Now, Mercury actually goes forward again on the 29th of August, the same day that Venus changes sign, goes into Libra. But we're going to revisit this again. We'll talk more about that at the time. But while Mercury retrograde revisits Leo, we're thinking along the themes of creativity, playfulness, fun, recreation, parties. It's party time on pretty much. So what do you do in recreation, for fun? Do you play sports? What do you do? Perhaps it's time to review, but also how charismatic you are and what type of leadership do you express, if that's something that's an important part of your life. So, and then the usual retrograde themes will still include like misunderstandings, hearing things wrong, crossed lines, being given the wrong information, traffic delays, traffic issues, attention issues, paying attention to things for long enough, things going missing, all this stuff, all these retrograde issues are still going on. But most of all, it's a chance to revisit things and go back over things that we have maybe not done right in the past and we want to revisit. So this is all going on currently. We'll enter Leo again on the 15th, okay? Now, one of the big ones, another huge one this week, is the Mercury square Uranus at 27 degrees of the fixed signs here. So Mercury will be at 27 degrees of Leo, and Uranus is at 27 degrees of Taurus. And we also have the sun applying here as well, which is lighting all of this energy up. So for anyone who's feeling their life is in a bit of upheaval at the minute, there's a good chance you have a personal planet, or you may have an ascendant or midheaven around 27 degrees of the fixed signs, or even within 2 or 3 degrees, you're really going to be feeling this. So these themes are going to be around, communication, learning, like great ideas. You can have some like almost genius ideas with this energy. Learning, going forward, like moments of clarity, light bulb moments when something just goes off and you have a sudden, like, what's the word? Like I can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. An epiphany. You have a sudden epiphany about something. So that's all Mercury and Uranus. So it's a very visionary. So it's about the future. Like, what way do you see the future going? Like your personal future. How can you invent yourself going forward? Do you need to invent something new to take you through to the next stage? Or can you just reinvent something that you're currently doing? But you're on the verge of breakthroughs and a potential revolution within yourself, or possible revolutions in the external world as well. So this energy creates a kind of tension, but usually some kind of action is required, and it's going to occur with some kind of force because it's a forceful, outgoing kind of energy. So this transit actually is a repeating transit. It's a 3-hit transit that began on the 21st of July. It's occurring again this week, and it occurs again on the 7th of September. So if you can take yourself back to July, around the 21st of July, did anything happen, anything trigger in your life around this particular time? It's possible you're going to revisit that energy again in the coming week. And by September, 7th of September, possibly halfway through September, the situation could have finalized completely. So there may be a bit of upheaval going on, but by the end of September, if this is affecting your personal chart, we can obviously look at this deeper on a more personal level and, tailor a consultation specifically to your needs. But ideally, if there is anything major and significant going on, by the middle of September, you will have made your decisions, or you'll know what is occurring going forward. Okay. Now, the chart for Northern Ireland is heavily impacted with all these energies going forward. And over the next 2 weeks, we're going to have some of the most significant astrology of this year. The energies have the potential to be totally extreme, as we can see as we watch the news and hear reports of riots and violence, extreme behavior. So the transiting Mars-Jupiter conjunction is on the descendant of the Northern Ireland chart. Then the moon actually opposes that on the actual ascendant. Now, this activates the 7th house of relationships, and it also impacts the Mars placement of the Northern Ireland chart. So let's look at it. The inner wheel here is the Northern Ireland chart, but I'm only going to show you the energies that apply to this particular situation. So the Mars-Jupiter energy is just entered the 7th house here. As you can see, 15 degrees Gemini is the cusp of the 7th house, which is a very significant angle in the chart. So this is activating relationships. And how do we treat relationships? Basically, it's how you treat others and how others treat you. But when we expand that out, zoom out a bit, this is about communities. And in Northern Ireland, in the past, it was always about Catholic, Protestant, nationalist, unionist. But now we have multiple communities. So this could be not just bridging together Catholics and Protestants, Unionists and Nationalists. This is about bringing all kinds of communities together, multiple communities. So the moon on the ascendant here in Sagittarius, it's right on the degree of the ascendant. Sagittarius, it's all to do with foreign culture, expanding, learning, all those things, education, spiritual, religion. So as we can see here, now this is actually ruled, this energy is actually ruled by Jupiter. So that tells us there's much needed communication and education as well. So especially around immigration. So we need to educate the people here on immigration. People need to understand, understanding different cultures is at least one way of doing it, and providing the proper information as well, that how people enter the country, what the conditions are for doing so. It's not just that you come into the country and you suddenly leapfrog over everyone else that has been there before you. It doesn't work that way. So awareness of immigration and emigration as well. I think it was 2023, there was over 20,000 people entered the country, but there was roughly the same amount left. So each year, there's always that coming and going, and there's only about a 2%, difference there in that number. So it's not just that people coming in, people are leaving as well. So this energy is all triggered by that particular transit. So, and this is the way I can see going forward, more education, educate the people that are here. The Northern Ireland chart is also impacted by the Mercury square Uranus energy, which comes up towards the end of the week. And it's right on the Mars here. As you can see, that's the Mars placement there, 27 Taurus. Uranus, it's right there. And it's being activated by the Mercury and by the approaching sun here. So the sun is lighting this energy all up. So there is more potential for violence. There's no doubt about that. But I would hope that most of it is finished. Hopefully there's no more, but there's been violence every night for the last week or so. So I'm hoping it ends. But with Uranus, we don't know. We can't really predict what's coming because the outcomes of Uranus transits can be quite shocking. You don't really know exactly what's going to happen. So, but it's usually something that's unexpected. So I hope it's unexpected in a positive way. But the possibilities are extreme action, of course. It's volatile. There's opportunity for some kind of revolution, and obviously rebellion is what we have seen. And the Mercury retrograde also activates this. This is all Mercury retrograde energy as well. So it's about educating, communicating, better communication. Teach people, educate them. And it's about moving forward and considering diversity and inclusion as well for everyone. So that will be it. Those will be the main ones for this week. Huge astrology transits going on. But for next week, we have the full moon in Aquarius, which will make a square to Uranus on the degree, on the 27 degrees there of Taurus and 27 degrees. So this energy continues all the way into next week with a full moon. And we're going to break this down as well as we head into next week. And we're also having a significant T-square formation forming as well. And that's coming in here with Venus and Saturn, and also the Jupiter and the Mars energy as well. And that's in sync with the full moon. So we're going to break that down as well and talk about the intense energies that are coming up. So before I leave you, there are things worth considering, like how does all this relate to your personal horoscope? What houses do these energies fall in? Do they make aspects to your personal chart? Are any special configurations in your chart activated with this as well? So do you have a T-square? Do you have a grand trine? Anything, even squares, conjunctions, they can all be triggered with these huge energies that are occurring this week. So especially if you have a personal planet or an angle on any of these degrees. So, and the personal themes in your particular chart will be activated and they will play out in your personal life. So to go into this deeper in a personal way, to break all this energy down, see what's going on and how to plan for what's coming up, you can book in with me for a personal consultation. You know, we can look at career, we can look at relationships, personal development, developing your own self-awareness, your own personal traits, using astrology to do that, to realize the negatives, the positives, pitfalls, challenges, limitations, but also special gifts and special traits that you can utilize and compound upon to get the most going forward with your own personal goals. So also forecasting is an excellent way to just plan for what's coming up. So we can do solar returns, we can do transits, progressions, solar arcs, all that cool stuff to give you an idea of what's coming. So you can check me out as well on YouTube. So, well, YouTube, yeah, I'm here. And Facebook as well, Star Drifter Astrology. I'm going to be doing like little mini updates just on moon themes throughout the week. And also, you know, if I have time as well, I'll post as well about, you know, reinforcing these significant transits that are coming up as well. So please subscribe, because I'm going to be doing more stuff next week again, especially for the full moon in Aquarius and these other T-square configuration that goes with that. So listen, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and I'll be back with another update next week. Thank you.